Success is not the key to happiness, but rather happiness is the key to success. If you truly love what you're doing, then you will succeed. The guest we have today truly embodies this quote. Today we have a man who has achieved in being CEO not once, not twice, but 3 whole times. Please welcome Mr. Anil Keshary Shah.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Yes, it's truly a pleasure, sir. You're clearly a man of a lot of accomplishments and achievements in your life. And like I said in the quote before, you need to be happy in order to be successful. So I have to ask this question you've probably heard a billion times in your life by now. How did you do it?
I wish there was a cookie cut model that I could just say, these are the things you need to do and you will get success. But unfortunately, there isn't. And the reason there isn't is because success is different for different people. And I loved your introduction because it's about happiness. And I truly believe this. In fact, I'm writing a book on this. The objective of everyone's life, yours, mine, everyone who's looking at this program, our objective of life is to be happy. It's a simple word, but that's what we seek. We seek happiness. But what makes you happy is very different from what makes me happy or what makes you happy. Therefore, the first thing we need to do is find out what is it that makes me happy. And I have found in my life, there are 5 ingredients of happiness. Family and friends, money and economic wealth, health, power and status, greater good and God. These 5 ingredients are required by everybody. How much of each ingredient you require to be happy is unique to you. So you need to find out how much of each of these 5 ingredients you require to be happy. Take your core competencies, and this is critical. If you are a tiger, and everyone says, oh, tiger, king of the jungle. But if a tiger is kept in a chicken coop and said, lay an egg, in 30 days, all the other chicken will have laid 1 egg a day. But this tiger will have laid no eggs, and everyone will say, this tiger is incompetent, is an idiot, is useless. And the tiger will start to believe I'm useless because I can't even lay an egg. But you take the tiger out of that coop and put him in the jungle, and he will seek out wonderful, big deer he will bring for the whole village to eat. So if you're a tiger, you've got to be in the jungle hunting. If you're a chicken, you need to be in the coop laying an egg. If you're a monkey, you need to be in the tree. If you're a fish, you need to be in water. You need to know what are your core competencies. Take those core competencies, take your happiness formula, and you dovetail those 2 in. And that will show you where you want to be and how you're going to get there. And that's what my secret to success, as I see it, or my secret to happiness is actually all about.
When you said the thing about tigers not being able to lay eggs, it really reminded me of this quote by Albert Einstein. If you teach a goldfish to climb a tree, it'll live its whole life believing that it cannot climb a tree when it should have been swimming in the water.
Yes, that's exactly what it is all about. So, first of all, the goldfish needs to realize I'm a fish. Yes. I'm not about to climb a tree. And then the goldfish's family, friends, people who want to support it must stop trying to make climb a tree and say, everyone's climbing a tree, come on, you climb a tree. They must say, you get into the water. We don't care what everybody else is doing. Everyone's becoming a doctor, an engineer, a banker, whatever it is. But I want to be an artist. I want to be a musician. I want to be a sports person. That's, if you really love that person, if the support structure is good, that everybody will support that person to be the best version of themselves. Not a cookie cut version of what they feel society wants everybody to be or what they feel you should be.
But it really is hard to find what you need to be, because currently in our current Nepali education system, you can tell that there's no specific specialization as much as A-levels or IB programs do. Let's say in the Nepali context, there are many children out there who want to study specific subjects or perhaps don't know what they want to study. But because of the education system we have today, they are not given the opportunity. How do you say we should solve this issue?
I think you've hit the nail on the head, the education system itself. Yeah. The education system currently is made or structured in a way to bring out a group of average students. Average. Why do I say average? Because they don't care. Are you good in mathematics, in English, in marketing, or whatever? You must pass everything. You must do everything. So what happens with that is you spend your effort, your time in trying to become average in what you're not good at doing. And because you're not giving time and effort to what you're good at doing, you become average in that as well. And in everything you become average. And when someone like me interviews you for a job and says, what are you good at? You say, sir, I'm good at everything. And the minute someone says, I'm good at everything, you know what we hear? We hear, I'm good at nothing. Paras Kharga, our cricketer, is good at cricket. Gaurika Singh, good at swimming. Samba, Savitri Bhandari, good at football. Ani Choing, good at singing hymns. Sushant Casey, good at singing, pop songs. Vek, good at rapping. They know what they're good at, and that's what they're doing. Gaurika Singh is never playing cricket. Paras Kharga is never singing. You need to find out, in this system that is, what am I good at doing? The system will force you to be average, fine. You must pass in everything. You must give that effort to everything. But once you know, this is what I'm good at mathematics. So I am going to give effort into mathematics. Because yes, once I come to 12, 10 up to 10, up to 12, I have to do everything. But after that, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. For that, again, I tell everyone, the youth especially, don't look outside. Google is not going to tell you what you're good at doing. You need to look inside and see, this is what I'm good at doing. And again, it comes to happiness. Nobody loves doing something they're not good at doing. If you're good at mathematics, you will love mathematics. If I'm not good at mathematics, I will hate mathematics. It's not that you're more intelligent than me. It's just our skills are different. The next, in marketing, I'm very good. I love marketing. You're not good at it, you will hate marketing. Now, if you spend your time and your life trying to do marketing and I trying to do mathematics, we'll be miserable and we will be average at best. But if we focus on what we are good at doing, our core competency, and then we say, okay, the system will tell me to do everything, I will. Because I have to pass my SEE, I have to pass my plus 12, but then comes the time that I can choose what I want to be. And by that time, I will know this is what I want to be. Whether it's mathematics, it's marketing, it's language, it's arts, doesn't matter. Don't be scared. Don't let the system, don't let the society, don't let the people who you deem to be your friends and family try to make you into something you're not. If people say we're going to round you off, I hate that term. What do you mean you're going to round me off? I don't want to be rounded off. I'm a square peg. I'm going to find a square hole.
Sir, oftentimes adults refer to us children as clay that you can mold and build into different people. What do you say to that?
I say that's so sad. It is so sad because every child, if parents have 3, 5 siblings, children, or siblings, each one of them is going to be different. What I find, unfortunately, in not only Nepal, but in our culture, this type of culture is parents want their children to be like them. I'm a doctor, my kids should be doctors. I'm an engineer, that's what I'm business and you should be in business. No. Your child is unique. A child is a human being. It's not these 2 cups or these 2 glasses, they're the same. We're not those 2 glasses. We're very different. If the glass is the same, I could have water, you could have Coca-Cola in it. Someone else would have a Fanta in it. Just because the glass is the same doesn't mean it all has to be filled with water or Coca-Cola. A human being is exactly the same. Yes, we are blood, we are skin, we are bones. That's the glass. But what we are inside is very different, like the drink in that glass. Yeah. So to parents who say we want to mold our children, stop molding. Let them evolve to be the best person they can be. Because if I want to mold my daughter to be what I want her to be, because I feel that is the best thing for her, it may be the best thing that I feel for her, but it's not the best thing for her. I did a BBA and MBA. My daughter did bachelor's in psychology and master's in international affairs. That's what she's passionate about. She's been writing since she was a little child. She wants to do policy work. Wow, she's loving it. If I forced her to do bachelor's in business administration, MBA, join a bank, average, that's all she'd have been. And even worse than average, she would not have been happy. Stop molding. Let evolution take its place. Guide, of course, provide guidance, provide suggestions, but let the child make the decision for themselves. And you will see, once that happens, in the natural course of things, our kids will live longer than us. So we cannot be always there to protect them, to guide them, to help them. Oh, cross the road. Here, I'll hold your hand to cross the road. What will happen when you're not there to hold the hand? The child will never be able to cross the road or will attempt to cross the road and get hit by a car. How sad is that? If you had been, when you were there, said, okay, this is how you cross. This left, look left, to right. Now let's cross together. Now let's cross. Now you cross and see with your supervision. Then when you are not there, the child will cross the road without thinking. So that's what I tell parents is, please stop trying to mold your child to be what they say, a better version of me. Your child may want to be a better version of you, but may want to be something completely different. And you as a parent, if you really love your child, you need to let them to evolve to be that.
Sir, you found your passion pretty early on, and you became really successful. In fact, you have one of the most successful careers in banking sector of Nepal. But last year you made a switch to politics, and you joined RSP. And not just that, you were appointed the head of the training department. I read an article on the Nepali Times, and you made this really intriguing statement that you wanted to create leaders. And I really wanted to ask, what did you mean by create leaders? Can you truly create a leader?
Okay. First of all, I was in banking for 31 years, of which 17 years I was CEO of different banks. So I felt after 31 years in banking and starting to preach that this chair should not be held by the same person, you should let the youth have an opportunity to grow and evolve into leadership positions. After being a CEO for 17 years, I was afraid someone would ask me, sir, you keep talking about giving youth opportunities. You've been a CEO for 17 years. How many more years are you going to be CEO for? One was that. Second, again, came to my happiness formula. Initially, as you said, I was passionate. I loved banking, everything. But my happiness changed. Those 5 ingredients started to change. And I needed something else to be happy. And that 31 years showed me Nepal is where Nepal is. And we are not able to realize our full potential because of one thing. And that one thing is we have a leadership void. Nepalese are willing to work very hard. Whether it is to use our brawn or our brain, we have proved ourselves as exceptional workers worldwide. Whether it be in the Middle East, Korea, Malaysia or Japan to use our brawn, or to using our brain in Australia, America or Europe. But why not in Nepal? Because there is a leadership void. And the one thing I learned throughout those 17 years as CEO was leadership. I didn't learn to sing or play a guitar or dance. I learned about leadership. So I set up an institution called Lead Nepal Inc., whose vision statement is crafting leaders. Leaders doesn't just mean political leaders. In Nepal, leader, you think, oh, political, no. Yes, we need to craft better political leaders, better bureaucrats, but better leaders in private sector, better leaders in social sector, better leaders amongst the youth. So I was on this quest to do this, and it has been about a year, when some young Nepalese who had just graduated from Ivy League colleges said, Dai, that's great, but you keep saying Nepal is where it is because of our politics and so on and so forth. So why don't you jump in and try to do something there by creating leaders in politics itself? So I came back, I talked to some people, and RSP, as you said, the Rashtra Swatantra Party said, okay, why don't you join us and help us craft the sort of leaders, value-based leaders that our nation requires from the local level, the provincial level, and the national level. So they gave me an opportunity to head their training and development unit. And I said, sure, let's give it a shot. I've been doing this for over a year now. I'm very happy. Long way to go, but we've started. Because leadership is like planting a tree. No matter how much money or whatever you throw at an individual, they're not going to become a leader like this. It's going to take time, training, evolution, development. A tree, you plant a seed, even if you push $1 million into the seed, it's going to take 8 years before it grows and gives fruit. But if you look after the seed well, give fertilizer, water, and take care of it, it will give the best fruit that it can. And that's what my quest is to plant those seeds, help those little saplings become the trees. I may not be there to eat the fruit, that get the dividend of this leadership, but I know my daughter, my daughter's daughters and sons, they will be there. And that's what it's all about, this quest for leadership. And I really believe that unless we fill this leadership void in Nepal, no matter what else we do, people will become rich, but rich in the wrong way.
Yes.
And if you want the nation to become rich, just few people becoming rich will not make the nation rich. Making those rich people poor will also not make the nation rich. To make Nepal rich, we have to make the poor people rich. And to do that, we need to get the environment. Because Nepalese have proved, whether it's in the Middle East or Far East or Africa, Australia, America or Europe, they have the ability to work, to gain wealth, to create capital, but not in Nepal. Why? Because the environment isn't there. So my quest, craft leaders, fill the void, create the environment, get the hundreds of thousands of Nepalese all across the world back into Nepal, so that together we can make the Nepal which is in all our dreams a reality.
That sounds wonderful. However, I have a sort of childish question.
Okay.
If, let's say, we do manage to find this formula to create perfect leaders in the shortest period of time, perhaps everyone wants to be leaders. If everyone becomes a leader, who will follow?
Let's be clear, not everybody wants to be a leader. And not everybody should be a leader also. Let's look at world history. Adolf Hitler was a leader. He was a great orator, great leader. He convinced the entire community of Germany that this one small community of Jews was bad. It was a cancer. We have to get rid of him. And hundreds of thousands of Jews lost their lives. He was a leader, but if he hadn't been there, the world may have been a better place. Okay? So not everybody should be a leader, and not everybody wants to be a leader. We don't need everybody to be a leader. To build a fire, if there is a whole pile of matchsticks, you will have an explosion. You need one matchstick and a lot of logs. And then you build a fire, which you can, in cold, you can take heat from, you can cook from, you can get energy from. But if the matchstick is wrong, it can burn down the building as well. So the leader is the matchstick. Not everybody wants to be a matchstick. Everybody wants to be a log. Everyone wants to have, like I said, those 5 ingredients. If you want family and friends, if you want, good health, maybe leadership with all its stress and tension is not for you. That's all right. Not everybody should be a leader or wants to be a leader. But we need to have at least a critical mass of leaders. If you don't have any match, you have a huge pile of wood, you're not going to get a fire. You need the match. You need the match to make the little spark and then start the little fire at the bottom, and then you will get a bonfire. That match is the leader. So we need those good matches in every sector. Again, don't please think I'm only talking about political leadership. I'm talking about leadership in every sector. And once we get that, then wow, there's going to be a transformation. And the beauty of Nepal is we're not that big that it's going to take 20, 80, 50 years. In my vision, 5 to 7 years, we'll have complete transformation, the transformation that we require if we get the right leadership.
Well, back to the topic of parents trying to shape their children with leadership. There are a lot of programs these days like MUNs, World Scholars Cup, several different academic contests that try to push children to becoming better leaders. What do you say about these programs?
I say, if you have an inclination of thought that, maybe leadership is for me, try it out. But don't try it out to say that I've gone to an MUN, now I have to be a leader and all that. It may not be for you. It's like when someone gives you, would you like tea, green tea, tea with milk, black tea? You don't know. Let's try. I'll have black tea today, I'll have green tea tomorrow, I'll have this. Then I will realize, no, I actually like tea with milk and sugar. So going forward, whenever someone says tea, I will have milk and sugar. But if you've never tried any other tea, you'll always just stick with, and then someday, many years down, someone will give you a green tea and you're like, wow, this is the tea I wanted for these years. I wish I had been having that. So when you go to MUN, I don't say shut the doors and say, oh, this is not for me. Please don't say that. I've seen so many people say, no, leadership is not for me. I'm not a leader. There's no leader in my family. Leadership is a skill. It's like swimming. Okay, maybe you know how to swim, I don't know how to swim. Doesn't mean that I was born a rock and you were born a piece of wood, so you know how to swim. No, you learned how to swim. It was a skill you picked up, I didn't pick up. If I put in an effort, I will also learn how to swim. Leadership is exactly the same. It is a skill that needs to be practiced, trained, taught, and continuously you need to evolve in your leadership journey. Because leadership is not a destination. I'm a manager. Visiting card. Manager, I'm a leader now. No, it's a journey. Even today, I say, I'm still evolving as a leader. I was CEO, I was branch manager, I was unit head, and now I'm in some political party, I've got my own company, but I'm still evolving as a leader, because leadership is a journey. The minute you put that in your mind, it's not a designation on a visiting card, it's a journey for life. At some point of time, my daughter will get married, she will have children. That's another leadership as a grandparent. When I got my daughter, it was another leadership as a parent. So in your personal life, in your social life, and in your professional life, leadership is a journey. The better you are equipped in your skill to be a leader, the better you will be a leader at home, with your friends and in your society and in the profession. So, people say, when I talk to a lot of different type of people, I talk to a lot of rural women and they say, in Nepali, native to Amrulai, in leadership is like, where are women and all? I say, wait a minute, are you married? They say, yeah. Do you have kids? Yeah. So aren't you a leader? Kosari. Those kids, who are they looking up to? Is the mother. Father is working here, there, many of them outside. So the child is being shaped by you. That is the most important type of leadership. As a mother, you are shaping the future. Because the first leader your son or your daughter is looking at is you as the mother. And they're not saying, do you have an MBA? Are you a doctor? Are you an engineer? You're my mother. and therefore you are my leader. I will look at you and learn from you. So, whether you want to or not, you are a leader, I tell them. And they're like, yeah, that's true.
It's probably the hegemonic femininity within our culture that suppresses women to feel like they cannot be leaders the same way men are encouraged to be leaders.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Because society puts these glass ceilings, these metal ceilings, these all sorts of, mindset ceilings, from the fact that when you're menstruating, you have to sit in this place for 5 days to, you're a woman, you shouldn't be doing this. You're a woman, you should dress like this and all. I have one child, she's a daughter, Arya. I, as her father, don't have the right to ask her, so can you go to the temple today? The minute I ask her that, she will think, okay, when I'm menstruating those 5 days, there's something wrong with me. That's why my dad is saying that, can I go asking? So already, I may not put her in a barn when she's menstruating, but in her mind, I've put that thing that there's something wrong with you. And with that, they'll say, because I'm a woman, I'm this. Men are here. No, my mother was the first Nepali woman who went to America to do her bachelor's. She did a bachelor's in Columbia, her master's in Johns Hopkins, came back, joined the foreign service, worked for 3 decades. She was the first woman ambassador of Nepal, and she was ambassador to India. I am her son. So I am maybe different because of that, because for a long time, I thought all mothers worked. It was much later that I determined, no, only my mother works. No other mother seems to be working of my friends. But because of that, I don't see any difference in gender. For me, gender, my dad and mom both went to work, both earned money, both were in the family, both were professionals. So when I look at you, I don't say, oh, she's a woman, she cannot do what I can do. I think, oh, most probably she can do more than I can do. Because if you look at it in, Nepal, in Lok Seva, when you give the Lok Seva, my mother is a question. Who is the first woman ambassador of Nepal? Wow, I'm not a question. So for me, gender is a non-issue. But I wish that was the same for our society, which it isn't. As you said, it's a patriarchal society. A lot of people feel gender determines what you can do and what you cannot do, which is so wrong. Not only male and female, now that, you can choose whatever gender, whatever pronoun that you would want. Gender. Exactly. Whatever you want. Yeah. It's up to you. This is my pronoun, and it's up to me to choose. I was born this, but this is the pronoun I want to be identified as, because that's how I identify myself. Perfectly fine. We need to evolve. We need to grow. As a society, as a mindset, unless we continue to evolve, grow, and transform ourselves, we're going to be left behind, because the world is moving at a pace which is much, much faster than us.
So what I get from what you have said, we need role models, more female role models within our country to improve the status of women within society.
Absolutely. And this is not only role models in banking or,
yes,
who speak English like this. We need role models in villages.
Yes.
In villages, people need to look and say, wow, look at that Ama. Look at her. She's the one who's, whatever, Ama Samoa, doing so much social work. Whenever there's a crisis, these women are the ones who step up first to help. Wow. It's women who are actually holding us together. Women are the leaders. And I'm not talking about token leadership now, Oh, we need 33% of this. Therefore, who do they become? My wife, my sister, my this. No. And then that actually hurts women. Because I'm not saying that the quota hurts women. The way we appoint women into those quota hurts women, because then everybody starts to laugh and say, look, this is what happens. They're not able to do anything. They're not adding any value. Stop that. Give women who have the ability to fill those seats, whether it's in parliament, whether it's in judiciary, whether it's in the private sector, wherever it is, because there are so capable women. One of the banks that I was heading was called Mega Bank. We started it. When I left after 8 years, my deputy CEO was a lady, Anupama Khujeli ji, and she became the CEO, the first woman CEO of a Nepali private sector commercial bank. And in my whole banking career, one of the big check marks, milestones for me was that she became a CEO and she ran the bank as good, if not better than I was running it. So we need to prove by showing examples, not just giving examples. Everybody says, I've not met anybody who openly says, oh no, men are more superior, women are inferior. Everybody will say, no, it is all the same. There's no difference. They give that example, yes, but they don't act. They don't show it by example. They don't live that. Even the person who says that will have a son and a daughter, and the son can do whatever you want, but you are a chori. You come home at 8 o'clock. You stay here. You don't do this. You don't dress like that. You never tell your son that. But then you're saying, no, gender equality is there. Everybody should be the same. Stop. Don't just use this. Don't just give examples. Be an example. So that's what I say.
Well, there is clear gender disparities within society stopping women. What do you say about social class disparities? There's obviously, it's no secret that there are different economic classes within Nepali society. Just because you don't have enough money, sometimes you cannot go to school, sometimes you cannot achieve higher education, therefore you cannot get a better job. Do you think this is stopping our country from developing?
I definitely think so because, as they say, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Yes.
And just because you're economically unable, your family is economically unable to give you the sort of education or exposure that mind would thrive in, wow, what a waste that is. Because we have lost an amazing doctor or an engineer or a politician or a business leader because they didn't get the education. So they've been stunted. Their evolution as a human being, as an individual, has been stunted to doing something that is far less than their capabilities was. That's the reality. How do you change that? The question is. And I've seen in many countries where there are scholarships, where there are schemes which enable people to step forward and say, in America, for instance, are you a first-generation college? If you are a first-generation college student, oh my God, you get admission, you get scholarship, you get so much, because no one in my family has ever gone to college. Come on, we'll pick you up. What do you want to be? You want to be a banker, a doctor, engineer, social worker, whatever. You've got to, of course, have the mental aptitude. It's not that you can't. You have to have that same ability as everybody else, or even better than them. But I can't attend because I don't have this. That's not a factor anymore. You've got this, come on in. We welcome you here. And that is the system we require here. Not to put a system like that and again me to use force, and people with all the economic might again to get their children in there for free. No. You want to develop a society, as I say in Nepali, hamrolai haina ramrolai prathamikta diनुपर्छ. You need to stop giving benefits to those who I deem as my family, my friends, my ethnicity. No. Now you say, who is the best? I don't know. Doesn't matter, I don't know him. That is the best. Let's pick that person up. If you want to develop as a society, as a nation, we have to change our mindset to do that. If there are 3 people and one of them is my daughter, but those 2 people are better than my daughter, I have to say this is the person who's going to get the job or the opportunity or whatever it is because this person deserves it. It's not easy to do, but if you want to evolve as a society and
you need meritocracy.
You need meritocracy. Without it, and we are at the opposite end of that. We are at someone's wife, someone's brother, someone's sister, someone's daughter, someone's son, and they are the ones who get all the opportunities. No, we need meritocracy. We need people who, in that field, they're going to excel. Okay, and we have examples in Nepal. In Gorkha, there were 2 boys who used to walk God knows how many hours to go to school. There were many other students in that school. That school had a teacher from another, I think a missionary teacher, who sparked the quest for knowledge in these 2 boys' heads. And they started to study. One of them became a political ideologue, Dr. Baburam Bhattarai, who led the ideologue of the Maoist movement, who changed the political destiny of this country. The other one became Dr. Upendra Devkota, who is a neurosurgeon known worldwide to be an excellent international level neurosurgeon. They were both studying in some rural school in Gorkha. But it was a teacher who sparked that, like they said, the match, And wow, the other people in the class didn't, but the 2 of them picked it up. So it's up to the individual also to say, I want to do this. It's within me, I want to. But the system must be there. They are an exception. We can't say, oh, they're there, so the system is right. No, they're an exception. We have to make that exception the rule, whereby people like that, wherever they are, whatever economic strata, whatever ethnicity, whatever religion, whatever political thought they have, they get the opportunity because they are able to. Because once they are able to do that, if we have the best doctors, regardless of what their parents did or what the economic strata was, when I get sick and I need to be treated, I will have the best doctor treating me. Yes. But if I choose people who are of my ethnicity, my family and all, and give them the opportunity to become doctors, they will become average or below average doctors. So when I become sick and go to them, they'll kill me. When I make a house with engineers like that, the house will collapse. Every place is like that. So if you want the as we say, the lowest common denominator to start rising, we have to give those who are in the lowest common denominator and have the ability, the opportunity to help us rise.
In your opinion, how do we actually do that? Because saying is easier than doing. How do we bring out the people that truly deserve the positions out there?
So we come back to where we started. It's the leadership void. When there is good leadership, it is very, very possible. Look at a family with good leadership. whether it's a son or a daughter or whatever, chori ramro padha. I said, the daughter is studying. Let's give the daughter the opportunity to go and become a doctor. Not that, oh, daughter is going to marry and go somewhere else. Forget her. Let's give the son who is below average, let's push all the money and tuition and try to make the son a doctor. It starts at the family. It's not at the nation level. Then comes the society itself, the institutions, which says, let's pick up. Why do you think banking has done so well? I've spent my life in banking. Why does it do so well? Because no bank is led by someone whose father opened a bank. We all became CEOs because we were very good at what we did. When banks hire people, MBA, BBA, MBS, BBS, there's a whole system that we go through that ensures that we get the best talent. The best youth of Nepal who didn't go abroad are in banking. Why? Because they saw we don't have to do chaplaincy, we don't have to do any of this thing. We work hard, we get recognized, we get rewarded, and we move forward. Look at Anil Shah. My initial salary was 3,500 rupees when I joined Nepal Gunle's Bank as an assistant. When I left, I was one of the highest paid Nepalese that there is. Not because my father opened a bank or because I knew something, but because I worked very hard and I had the ability, and my institutions recognized that ability and gave me opportunities to rise. Now just imagine if every sector, that was the truth, how wonderful it would be in Nepal. Now that is, to fill that, we need to fill the leadership void. Because once we fill that leadership void and we get leaders who think value-based leadership is what we need, this is a journey, I need to ensure that I create more leaders as good, if not better than me, as we go forward. That is the only way we can fill it. There is no quick fix solution. I wish there was, that we could say, okay, if you do this, it'll happen. No, because the mindset needs to change. As I said, menstruation. I talk about menstruation a lot because my daughter was passionate and she used to write a lot about menstruation and the sort of things that, negative things that it brought in our society. A lot of women come to me and say, oh, menstruation is bad in far west, Nepal, Karnali and Sudur Paschim. Still, girls are taken and put in cow sheds and they get raped and snakes bite them. You must speak against them and all. I say, fine, I will. But then I ask them, will you come with me from today for 31 days to Pashupatinath to do darshan? And they smile and say, that's not what we're saying. I say, why not? Those 5 days, how can we go to Pashupatinath? I say, well, that means that you have put yourself in a cow shed in your mind. Physically, you may not be sitting in a cow shed, but in your mind, I won't go to my kitchen, I won't go to my room, prayer room, I won't go to the temple in these 5. So you have admitted that there is something wrong with you for those 5 days. Those people in the far west and Karnali are just physically also putting them outside. So if you want change, chart the change with yourself. Say that there is nothing wrong. God didn't say that, life comes from this. For God's sakes, if there was no menstruation, there would be no life. Believe that. Live that. Be the example. Don't just give the examples and ask others to change and I will not change my ways. That doesn't happen. That comes when we fill the leadership void. And that's what I'm working at, and with me a lot of people are working at. And I'm positive. People say, oh, this country, nothing will happen, this, that. No. A lot of things will happen. A lot of positive things will happen. Already have happened. We just need to increase the pace. We see China and India, developing so fast and sometimes we get depressed. Don't worry about it. When we start, when we get on the right track, because any journey, suppose you want to go to Pokhara and you got on a bus that's going to Bhairava. The road could be wonderful, no traffic jam, no landslide. You reach your wonderful journey. But you reach Bhairava, no? You wanted to go to Pokhara. No matter how fast and wonderful it is, you've reached the wrong destination. Our case is sometimes the same. Once we get on the right road, get on the right bus to go to Pokhara, sometimes it will be a traffic jam, sometimes road will be closed, doesn't matter. But we'll continue to move towards the right destination. And to do that, we need the right leadership. And that's why I'm dedicating, my life for this foreseeable future into developing those leaders. Like you. Look at you. At this age, you're doing this interview, you're putting in this program, trying to bridge the gap between experience and the enthusiasm of the youth. So my experience, enthusiasm of the youth, if we can bridge that together, that's how you get what we call leapfrogging, Dagote Salang, move ahead in a transformational manner. Because just the enthusiasm of the youth or just the experience in 2 islands, it's not going to happen. We need to bring it together. It's like a football team. We have a good goalkeeper, we have good defenders, midfielders, strikers, we win the game. We just have good strikers, goalkeeper is fast asleep, we will never win the game. So it's like that, we need to bring everything together, and that's why I'm here in this program. I think it's an amazing initiative. And look at your age. You're at this time you're thinking, I want to do something that adds value to the youth, that lets them see from people like me who have experience, who are able to teach them something Hopefully that will add value to their lives.
Well, sir, you've talked a lot about leadership, but the country still needs to develop in various sectors. Aside from just leadership, what do you think would help develop the country overall?
I think like an individual, we talked about using your core competencies. Countries also have their own core competencies. We are not India or China. We are not Australia or America. We're not Singapore or Switzerland. If we try to become like them, we will never become like them. We will become a shadow and we'll be disappointed like we are right now. We need to be the best version of Nepal. Okay? First, we need to understand that. So to be the best version of Nepal, what is our core competency? One is tourism. The world wants to come to see Nepal. Let's make tourism in a manner where not only a few people get rich off tourism, but everybody benefits from the tourism's economic. How? Tourist comes here, the eggs, the meat, the vegetables, the fruits. Let's all use Nepali products. The farmers will benefit. The rural populations will benefit. One is tourism. The second is service sector. We have a lot of youth. We have a lot of youth in technology. We have a lot of banks that are doing well. Let's make health sector that. Let's make yoga and meditation something of the sort. Let's make service sector. The third one is energy, clean energy. Whether it be wind, solar or hydro, yes, we can produce immense energy. North India, Bangladesh need this energy. Let's export energy as well. Let's use the energy we create. We don't have diesel, petrol, kerosene, LPG gas here. We import all this. Let's stop those imports. How can we make the demand rise for electricity, induction stoves, electric vehicles, whatever it is. So let's do energy. That's the third. The fourth is we have a lot of natural resources like mines. We have jari booty, herbs, so on and so forth. Let's go into that along with agriculture. Not agriculture to do rice and dal and all this. Agriculture which is incrementally, it increases, so that's cash crops, yes. Crops that we can export, yes, like oranges, apples. Export to Australia or export to the Middle East, export to other places, earn dollars and euros. Our farmers, I keep saying, should be the biggest dollar earners. They should be exporting all their crops. We can buy rice, dal, whatever it is from the countries which can actually produce them with a competitive advantage which we may not have. Let's use our limited land to produce goods. Just imagine, the money is in the Middle East, they say. Okay, great. Middle East has taste. They have money. They want to buy oranges from the Himalaya, coffee from the mountains of Nepal, tea, apples, or water even from the snows of the Mount Everest and the highest peaks of the world.
I would sell.
Wow. There's Perrier, there's Evian, there's Fiji. Why not Nepani? Nepani, yes, Nepal's pani. And one bottle is 5,000 rupees. Wonderful, they'd buy it. But that's what we need to do. Like I said, if someone wants to be like Anil Shah, and they will be a shadow of Anil Shah. If they want to be the best version of themselves, they will be the best version, even better than Anil Shah. So if Nepal wants to be Nepal, it will be a wonderful Nepal, using our core competencies like some of those that I mentioned. But if you want to copy India or China or this or that, I don't think we'll get anywhere. So that's what we need to develop Nepal, is look at what is our core competency and then we just boom on that. Until now, I find many of us are copying. And I hear a lot about manufacturing. We need manufacturing to develop. I say, what can we manufacture at a cheaper rate, at a higher quality than just India and China? Tell me anything. These glasses, these shoes, these pants, this coat, nothing. So stop. Don't manufacture. Let them manufacture. Let's let them make holidays over here. Let them come here and spend the money that they have made by selling us this coat and this pant, and we make the money off that. We have Pashupatinath.
Or we could sell them our hydropower to help their industry.
Exactly. We have to sell the power, the clean energy that we think, so that their industries boom. It's knowing what we are good at doing, not knowing what they are good at doing and trying to copy them. Let them do whatever they're good at doing. Knowing what we are good at doing and doing that from good to great, great to exceptional. And that's when our youth will come back from all over the world to Nepal.
So we must conquer our own mountains.
We must conquer our own mountains. We must climb our own mountains. We must stop trying to climb mountains in America, Australia, Africa.
We must stop trying to climb Mount Everest as if we're trying to climb Mount Fuji.
Exactly. And then be disappointed even when we get to the summit because it's not Mount Fuji. So I think, again, Nepalese youth have proven themselves over and over again. Once the Nepalese leaders prove themselves, that fusion, what this program is trying to do, the experience and the energy, putting it together, this country will transform itself.
Well, for my last question, I would like to ask you, Do you have a final message for the youth today, our viewers?
To the youth today, I say that in any country where the youth of that country do not see their future in that country, then the future of that country is bleak. And that's what's happening in Nepal right now. When I talk to the youth, over 95% say they want to go abroad. They don't really care where, as long as they're out of this country. They don't know what they will do when they get there, but they know that once we get there, we will make a life for ourselves. The sad part is they're willing to take all that risk because they feel that risk is less than the risk of staying at home in our own country. We have to change that. Don't just look at my example of what I've done with my life, but look at your example and what you can do with your life. I'm not saying don't go abroad. Don't go abroad. Learn skills, earn some capital, but don't give up on Nepal. Because the opportunities that you will get right here in Nepal are far greater than you will get anywhere else. Maybe not right now, but there are people like me working to make that environment, make that ecosystem where all of us can come back and work together to make the Nepal of our dreams a reality. Don't give up on Nepal. That's all I say. I'm not saying stay here. I'm not saying if you're abroad, come back. But all I'm saying is don't give up on Nepal. Because the day will come, not in the too distant future, when we, you and me, all of us will get the opportunity to work together to make the dream of Nepal a reality.
Thank you so much, sir. Now that we have come to the end of the program, we would like to give you a short, small token of love.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Here it is. You'll find a short message, Ad Meliora. In Latin, it means towards better things.
Okay. Ad meliora.
Yes.
Towards better things.
Yes.
So towards better things to you, to me, and to all of us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.